Sorry.
Anything changed once you looked at the tape, your opinion on things you talked about yesterday?
Yeah, so I think probably the feeling around the building, the feeling that I had when I watched the tape was we're obviously disappointed, but we're not discouraged. There's so many places where we're so much better than we were last year, and despite the fact that we played probably about as poorly as you can play on offense in the first half. We lost the turnover battle, we lost the third down battle, we lost the line of scrimmage, we lost the rushing battle, we lost the protection battle, and we still at the end had a chance to win. So I like the team's fight and grit. I like the way they put it together in the fourth quarter. I thought the offense. One of the things I told the team going into the game was, hey, I hope we come out clicking right away on offense. But the reality is, sorry, it's always so loud in here. It's the steam train or locomotive, I'm not sure. We're talking about going out and playing the first game of the year, National Football League, with a quarterback who's been here for 30 or 40 days. And so I thought what we saw in the fourth quarter was, kind of starting to click for Baker, starting to click for everybody else. So I think we're encouraged. We're disappointed, but we're encouraged about where we're headed.
You mentioned stopping the run would be a focus heading into the season. You kind of struggled in that area. What did you see after watching tape?
Yeah, I think the thing that was probably the most disappointing for us was that, on most of the big runs, the ones that hurt us, we were just not lined up right inside. Guys as they stemming and shifting, and they did a nice job. Just not kind of lined up and, at the way we want. So, I think some guys got in there, some young guys got in there with maybe a little bit of jitters, maybe a little bit of whatever. But when we lined up well, we lined up properly. We played a lot of things well. Part of the run game to me was the third downs. Again, I don't want to minimize that. Like, we allowed them to stay on the field. We had 5 defensive penalties. When you have 5 defensive penalties, you're really putting yourself under duress on defense, because you're extending drives. And so I think what happened early was, we weren't playing very well on offense. We played well, good third down early. Then we started having some penalties and staying on the field. We stayed on the field a lot, and then guys started, not playing at the level we want them to play at. So it's a long answer to say we didn't stop the run nearly well enough, but we have to get off the field when we have a chance to get off the field, and we have to line up better and be more sound, and that starts with us as coaches. I thought the plan was good. The guys did it great in practice. We got to the game. A lot of times it was great. The times it wasn't, though, it really hurt us, and then we have to tackle better.
You mentioned lining up. Is that just an easy? It sounds like an easy fix, but I'm curious. Is that an easy
Yeah, I think
fix?
it should be. I mean, it shouldn't. It's not like it was overly complicated. Like I said, we got in there. They slide the front. 3 guys would slide. 1 guy wouldn't. So we need some of our second team guys that had a chance that had to go play because the amount of snaps we played. They've got to go in there and they've got to line up better. And I think it's all those fundamental details coming out of the first game that are correctable. I mean, it wasn't like we were sitting there saying, "Boy, this guy can't play." I think we just felt like that, and then our tackling has to be better. I think we had 17 missed tackles, equated like 190 yards after contact. So. It wasn't like guys weren't. I always kind of evaluate, Coach Snow and the guys like, hey, if the guys aren't there, we're wrong. There was one play like that hurt us. We played a pass defense. They ran the ball on third down, but we have to tackle better. That's too many yards after contact.
Yeah, understanding that you guys only had 50 plays on offense. Do you feel like Christian only had 14 touches? DJ didn't have a lot of targets his way. You got to get those 2 guys more involved in what you're doing here going forward.
Yeah, they have to touch the football. There's no doubt. Because of the amount of no huddle that we were in, Robbie and DJ are kind of lined up left and right. Robbie got a lot of targets. I was pleased to see what Robbie did yesterday. DJ didn't get quite as many. I think part of that's we have to stay on the football field. You go out there, you're in 3rd and 13, 3rd and 19, 3rd and 20. I mean, the first half was just. It was poor, that's there's no other way to say it. In the second half, once we started executing and moving the football, I think you started seeing Christian, put 2, 3, 4 plays in a row. DJ makes an explosive play. We'll just have to pick up where we left off this week in terms of how we ended the game.
I wanted to ask about starting faster. That was the point of emphasis for a lot of the guys, yourself included, coming out of that first half. In practical terms, what does that look like, being able to click from the start?
Yeah, I think it's no negative plays, no the first play was a draw with an RPO. We threw it. It was batted down. Second play was a screen. We don't really kind of not lined up exactly where we'd want to be on the outside. We missed the block. It's in tackle for loss. Now we're in 3rd and long, and so all things that are correctable. We have good players. Like I said, once they kind of got into a rhythm offensively, I think we saw a lot of good things. The detail wasn't up to our standard, and so. We were a team last year for all the things we didn't do well. I think we were one of the top teams in terms of scoring on the first drive or scoring early in the game. And so we want to be a team that gets better as the game goes on. We have to start a lot faster. And so we'll look at that this week as coaches. I mean, hey, what do we need to do better, differently? Coach McAdoo and his staff will, so that we give our guys their best chance.
You mentioned Baker only having 30 or 40 days. Two things. Do you think that contributed to the drop snaps and the fumbled snaps? And then does that give you pause now? I know you can't go back and do it again, but the fact that starting competition lasted so long into the summer.
I think the starting competition was what it was. I'm not going to, I can't go back. I think we had to do what was right for the team and be certain about who our quarterback was. Yesterday was 1 of 17, the snaps are, they were kind of a mixed bag, right? A couple hit Baker right in the hands, and we kind of expect him to catch those, and then one was low that, I know when Christian picked that ball up and ran it for his 32-yard run on the power play, they count that as fumble recovery. They don't count that as rushing yardage. So I think we averaged you only had 86 yards rushing because we didn't rush it enough, but we had 4.8 because of that run. But that was rolled back, so it was just kind of both guys really, and we just have to get them both on the same page, and then. Obviously at the end of the game in the 4-minute, the chance to go ahead and kick the field goal, we have a great run. I don't know if you saw it on TV. We're about to literally, I think Christian's going to be 1-on-1 with the safety and have a chance to score, and unfortunately we dropped that snap. So we have to just get it corrected this week on the practice field. That's all I know. It has not shown up in practice. It showed up in the game, and so we'll just have to correct it.
You mentioned not rushing the ball enough. Was that more what the Browns did defensively, or was that just how you guys went into the game as far as play calling is concerned?
Yeah, I think it was a mixture of just not being on the field enough execution wise. I think if you don't convert third downs, I can't remember if we were 1 for 5 or 1 for 7 on 3rd down and a half. It was one of my points on offense. Win 3rd down, you'll stay on the field. You guys will get into a rhythm and you'll make a bunch of plays. Which we finished at 38% or 36% on 3rd down because the second half was so much better. So I think it was partially that, and then we had a lot of runs called with with RPOs because of what they did and because of the pressures that they were bringing. And we just we threw the ball out a couple times. We hit Shy down the sideline. We had a 12-yard gain. Ian got the first down on one. The first play of the game, the ball got batted down. DJ caught one on the left sideline. So some of the tags that we had in, hoping to get the ball run because of what they did. Now the ball's thrown. With all that being said, if we could go back, I'm sure we would just try to settle it in a little bit more and have a couple more runs, but we don't get to do that, unfortunately.
How do you think Icky did in his first game?
I thought Icky showed good power in the run game. I'll go to the 2 sacks that happened. I want to make sure I kind of defend him a little bit. The ones to me is a bad chip. We still expect Icky to make that block, but we had some chips early on that really helped out, and that chip wasn't good enough. It actually propelled him to the quarterback. And then the second one, the one where he just kind of comes clean, it's a 3-step drop. And Icky's staying inside out. The ball's got to be out of the quarterback's hands. I'm sure Baker would be the first to tell you, he went to one side of the field and just kind of held the ball. And if you hold the ball in a 3-step versus a player like Miles, it's going to happen. So some of the big, oh my gosh, moments that happened for Icky weren't maybe quite as bad. I thought he, kind of hung in there. He had some really good snaps too. So I think this will be a really important week. I told the team, I really believe that this is the most important day in the National Football League, is the day after your first game. Some of the best teams in the NFC, the Rams, the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Packers, they all lost. And so I guess my point is that the teams that lose, they have to go back and identify who they are and what they did right, what they did wrong, fix them as a team, as an offense and a defense, and as players. And so this will be really good for Icky to play against a guy like Myles Garrett, watch the tape. So I'd say some good, some bad, and I know he'll play even better next week.
Terrace and Richard didn't play at all. Was that cognizant or what?
Yeah, so just because I think it's a function of playing 51 plays, to Steve's point, we just kind of we were going to go out there with our starters and say, hey, when you guys need a blow, you let us know. They didn't play very many snaps in the first half, so Richard would be the first guy in, and then just never got to it. Those guys were those guys were rolling, and we thought playing pretty well when they had opportunities.
Matt, just I guess for your own sake, and you can do about it now, but did you get any clarification from the league on the Brissett spike that, what is,
Yeah, no, I had nothing on those things, no.
Matt, what do you want the identity of your offense to be this year, or next week, this first quarter of the season?
Yeah, well, I think most importantly, I mean, I think the team we saw in the fourth quarter is who we want to be. I mean, I thought we had, we were kind of explosive. We were no huddle. We had some big plays. We protected well. We took care of the football. We were able to run it, converted third downs, and got the ball in the end. We were good in the red zone. So, that's who we kind of want to be. We're going to play in some no huddle. We're going to get up at the line and try to get in the right play. We're going to play fast at times. I think we went in with a plan. It just didn't quite work out the way we wanted it to. I think we just kind of hung in there and stayed with it. And then in the second half, it finally started to click. It's unfortunate because, we lost the game, and so, you can't get that one back. But who we were in the fourth quarter is who we want to be. And so I left from the game feeling good about that, at least, that, hey, once it kind of came together on offense, that's the way we want it to look.
So, and then I don't like comparing one year to the other, but it's my only point of reference with you, so bear with me here.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, you would talk about how you wanted the offense to be balanced, right? Run, pass. Obviously, a lot has changed. Do you still? I'm just trying to nail down some philosophies. Like, do you still want that for your offense, or have things changed and each game's different?
Yeah, I think to win, when you look at the National Football League, if you want to win at the highest level, you have to be able to throw the football. I mean, if you want to win Super Bowls and win, I mean, some teams can win right now by running the ball, and but the teams that win down the stretch and win in the playoffs are the teams that can throw the football. And so we kind of have gone with that mindset. Now we have Christian McCaffrey. We want to run the football. Don't get me wrong. We want to be balanced, but we're also going to run it when it's there. We're not going to hit our head against the wall. I think last year you heard me lots of times trying to react to the situation we were in and say, like, hey, our best chance with our defense is to slow the game down and run the football. I feel like our offensive line has significantly improved. We have guys who can make plays. Since I've been here, two of the more explosive passing plays happened. Robbie on the deep ball and Ian on the whatever that was. But it wasn't consistent enough. And so no matter what you do, your run team, but if you're not executing at a high level, it's going to look like, hey, what's their identity? Because you're kind of grabbing at stuff. I just told the guys today, we play with great effort and execute. We didn't always execute on offense or defense or special teams this game. We'll make a big jump this week, hopefully, and execute better next week.
We all feel like we've seen J.C. Horn for like years, but that was his third full game in the NFL. What did you see from him? And is he I guess the knock on him coming out of college is he's too aggressive with his hands. Is that something to still work on, or do you like the way he plays that way?
No, I mean, we went into the game knowing that, like, defensive holding and defensive contact was going to be talked about a lot. I think, JC will be the first to tell you, but JC is going to be a great player here. I have to remind myself, he's only played that was just really his third game, his fourth game as a pro football player. So, he's a guy that didn't have a lot of training camp this year. So I think today it was important to get him out there. But yeah, I think he can't play with his hands the way he does. And I think the first one, obviously, you want to get off the field. You stop them on third down. They miss the deep pass. You're off the field. Get the ball to the offense. Don't have a defensive hold that's not important to the play that extends the drive. And so, he had to play a lot of snaps yesterday. Dante went down for a little bit, came back in the game. Some other guys were going down. JC had to play a lot. He's kind of like Icky. He'll have to watch the tape and make a big jump, I would say, after seeing the tape.
What did CJ see or not see on that play that he just grabbed the receiver?
Yeah, we're in straight man. He's got the receiver. I think the guy started running over routes. CJ had great coverage. I think, in his mind, it was like, because it was a sprint out, he was kind of like, okay, what's happening? He looked back in the backfield at that point. They turned and ran the V back to the back pylon. It was a sprint out throwback. They were, kind of what Minnesota did to us last year. They ran it earlier and JC doubled it. They ran it again, and I think when he got beat, he was just, grabbed the receiver. Had he turned back, it was like Xavier made a fantastic play. I think Xavier was one of the bright spots in the game for us on defense, and he's got a lot of range back there. That was an impressive play. But CJ's eyes just got back in the backfield, and then the guy turned and ran with him. So. CJ, JC, both young corners, really talented. CJ had a lot of great reps, in man, but that was one that just got away from him.
Did you come out pretty injury-free?
We got some guys banged up. Andre Roberts, his knee could be an issue. I'm waiting to kind of hear back. But, a lot of guys were kind of, banged up in the game, but were able to return. So nothing else that I could see being, until I know Wednesday, nothing else I see being down the line. I think we should be pretty healthy for next week.
Are you expecting to have Andre, or you have no idea at this point?
I would err on the side of I'm discouraged that we would have Andre, but I don't have full confirmation yet. So I always hate saying something until I know. But he finished the game for us, which I appreciate. And then that knee was banged up.
With Shy having done that, but his new role is whatever number wide receiver 3, would he be that guy?
I think if we were playing right now, we'd put Shy in there. We trust him. We had him catch a lot of punts in the preseason. And then Chuba can return kicks as well as Shy. So, that Laviska showed up. He's got a history of doing some of those things too. So we'll have to see where he is this week. So, if Andre can't go, I'm sure Coach Tabor will have he'll have all those guys working this week and get him out there.
Is Andre's potentially long term?
Again, I don't know the extent of it yet. Just know I had that knee in training camp. So I'm kind of in my mind like, hey, there's a chance it couldn't be right now.
Did you get, when you looked at film for those 3 plays from their 14 or 15, what did you see, and is there anything there that you guys could have done differently?
At the end of the game?
Before the field goal.
Yeah, I think the first play was an excellent play call. I mean, like I said, I think if that snap's not dropped, I think McCaffrey's one-on-one with the safety, and our thought process was, put the ball in McCaffrey's hands. Like he's our best player, or one of our best players. Let's put it in his hands and let's lean on these guys. That looked like it was going to be a good play. We dropped the snaps. Now you're in 2nd and 10. I think had we been in like 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, might have attacked the rest of it a little bit differently. But Eddie's first time kicking for us really in that situation. The kickoff had gone out of bounds. I just wanted to make sure I had him, right where he needed to be. Then 2nd down, we thought we had a good run, and then 3rd down was the RPO. So I told the team I always go back and look at decisions I make, and at the end of the day, they had 120 yards passing at that point. And with our defense, I mean, we've invested a lot in our pass rush. We've invested a lot in our secondary. Them with, a minute 9, a minute 13, no timeouts left, having to go that far, I felt really good about our chances to stop them. And unfortunately, we got the personal foul. Unfortunately, JC comes off the edge, and JC brings the blitz, and he's about that far from knocking the ball out of Jacoby's hands. And so on that last drive, we didn't get it done. But I made the decision to put the ball in McCaffrey's hands, let the line try to lean on him a little bit, put Eddie in a good situation, then trust the defense. It didn't work out, so I always have to live with it when it doesn't work out. But that was kind of the thought process of why we did it.
The 3rd down play, just to make sure I'm hearing you right, were you almost sort of just positioning? It looked like you were trying to get it right in the middle of the field.
Yeah, so it was just we were trying to throw RPO. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm hoping that DJ pops free and we throw him a touchdown. The game, I would love to have scored a touchdown there. So it was the same play that we had hit to get the drive going. Kind of that first play was the thought process to start that drive was let's put the ball in Christian's hands, and if they give it to us, let's hit DJ. We hit DJ, we got an explosive. So it was kind of the same thought process. They played bump man. They brought the safety down. There was another safety over the top, and Baker just thought it best to hand the ball off. He made a good decision. We kicked it, but that was sort of the thought process was, hey, at the very least, let's not take a sack and go back 7 yards and put Eddie in a bad position. Let's run the football forward, and if things work out perfectly, we'll hit DJ for a touchdown. Just unfortunately, the play worked out where we kicked the field goal, but just didn't get the stop at the end.
Are you expecting Laviska to be good to go Sunday?
I told Laviska's healthy. I just told him as soon as he knows what he's doing at a high enough level that we would get him ready to go. And I told him last week, I think I told him on Tuesday day off, Wednesday he came in, I said, hey, you'll probably be inactive unless something happens in the next couple of days. I'd love to try to get you ready for New York. So get yourself ahead for this week. So if he has a good week of practice, we'd love to play him.
What's been the discussion like between you and Ben McAdoo as far as the play calling from yesterday?
I didn't really have a problem with the play calling. I had a problem with the execution, which falls back on us as coaches. I mean, I thought we didn't do anything right, in the first half. I knew the plan that we had going in. I think everyone felt good about the plan going in. We just didn't quite do things at the level that we wanted to do. And then as it got going, I think there was a point in the game where we were kind of like, hey, let's let's just settle down and go back to the things we do best, because we just felt so out of whack, right? And so instead of worrying about what's best for their defenses, let's do what we do best. You know, I think every coach in there right now is upset, you know, with the result of the game. You know, but also at the same time, I mean, like, and again, this isn't like this is like, we played that badly on offense in the first half and still came back and had a chance to win the football game, right? On defense, there's so many plays we went back, but yet we still had a chance to win the game. So we have to this week have a really good week, and we have to play much better. But in terms of like, hey, why'd you call this? Why'd you call that? We kind of went in with a plan, and I think who we were in the fourth quarter is who we'd like to be. We just got to do it for 60 minutes, and that when we do that, we'll be a good team.